Hello guys and girls, my name is AguilaDeAcero from AguilasNest, and today we are going to do the review for Armed 7, a game developed by ASTRO PORT. Keep in mind that this is my very first English review, so please go easy on me. So, what class of game is this? Well, this is a side-scroller shooter, or if you prefer, a shoot 'em up. Well, let's check out the options menu now, so you can see what options we have present in the game. Let's start with the controllers. The way you control your mech is pretty simple actually. With one button you shoot and with the other you use your special weapon. Yeah, you have quite some stuff to unlock here. Sure, I just unlocked one here, but I have unlocked even more on the Steam Achievements page. Why is that? Well, it's pretty simple actually. Let me remind you that this game, Armed 7, was already launched in the past, and this is a new release for the Steam version. So that's why you have different slots for unlocks and achievements. Talking about that, if you didn't know already, these games of ASTRO PORT are usually short, but if you really want to experience them, you must try the game on every difficult level, and that's where the game really shines. And with the new Steam achievement, you can add even more hours of gameplay to it, or frustration. Don't get me wrong, the game is very good, but it's all about perfectioning your skills and try to achieve the best, highest score. Well now, let's start the game and I will show you some of the weapons that you can choose. Of course, all items, weapons, have their highlights and lows. For example, the shotgun shoots everywhere with high area radius, but with very low damage output. You will have to dodge many bullets, especially on the boss fights. Then you have the assault rifle, that has very good damage, but the radius of impact is very narrow. Usually, if you are new to the game, you should pick this one out first. In the other hand, you have the laser gun, which does crazy damage in a line, but as you can see, it has a terrible radius of impact. Secondly, you have the sub-weapons like rockets, gatling guns, napalm launchers, and so on. Then again, they have their own characteristics. Finally, you have the special weapons like beam cannons, pile bunkers, a close combat weapon, and so on. The interesting thing here is that judging for what weapons you equip your mech, the cooldown for these special weapons are gonna be longer or shorter. This adds to the game some strategy elements before you go out guns blazing. It's a nice touch in my opinion. I really like the style of gameplay of this game. It reminds me of titles like Cybernator or the Contra games for the Sega Genesis. Sure, they aren't the best choices to compare with because they are both platformers, but the quality of art, level design, and even the bosses are pretty similar to this game. Let's go back to the gameplay now. As you can see, the style of gameplay is very straightforward. You shoot everything on sight, collect power-ups, and try not to die. Yeah, this is a very difficult game, and even on normal, you only have one life. That's right, there are no extra continues, just one life. Sure, you have the shield, power-ups, and such, but the game is really intense on the final levels. Especially if you add the fact that when you get shot, you lose your shields, life form, and also your firepower. Talking about the graphics, don't expect nothing super 3D lens flare and oh my god stuff. Having said that, the 2D art and pixels are amazing. It really reminds you of that golden era of video games from the past. And let me tell you, that's not a small thing. Nowadays we have like a tornado of so-called retro style games, but in reality one of them can really capture the feel and look of ASTRO PORT games. Armored 7 is one of them. Now then, I'm gonna change my setup of my mech so you can check out more weapons and different styles of gameplay. Well, let's see. Now I'm using the machine gun, with also the missile launchers that fires continuously, and also the special weapon called the napalm launcher. This is actually a very good setup, but it requires lots of good positioning, and especially with the napalm launcher. because it's one big bomb that travels slowly and the impact creates medium area damage explosion, which is really good at ground control air target, but it falls short during the boss fight. Also, remember that if you get shot, your primary weapons lose firepower and you can be really in a bad spot on the later levels like myself here. So, as you can see, it's left to the player to experience with different weapons and setups and discover what adapts best for each situation. Finally, let's talk about the final rating for Armored 7. The final score for this game is 7.5. I really would love to put a higher score, like an 8 for example, but some technical issues drop the final score down. For example, you can choose the resolution aspect of the game, and this tends to be a problem while you try to Alt-Tab or simply browse the Steam menu. Sure, it's not a breaking game experience, but if you are like me, who loves to pause the game, chat with my friends on Steam, or browse the Steam achievements and that sort of stuff, you will get really mad fast. Also, keep in mind that this is a Steam release from the game. The game was a re-release on other platforms, and I really believe that the team should address this, or at least try to fix these problems on the future. Another decisive problem that I have with the game is that it feels like really short. Sure, if you play like me and other ASTRO PORT games, they are pretty similar. They are short games, fun, intense. Having said that, this one is even shorter than those other games, like for example Gigantic Army. Another issue that I have with the game is that there aren't any Steam cards. I mean, come on, this is a Steam release from the game and you don't have Steam cards, you don't have resolution. That's really a negative point from the game. So there you have it. While it's a great game, true to the roots of style of gameplay of ASTRO PORT, the final experience from the game feels a bit rushed. Don't get me wrong, the gameplay is there, but I would expect a bit more in comparison with other of their titles. I really hope you enjoyed the review, and like always, I'm AguilaDeAcero from AguilasNest, and see you on the next video.